One
Sit down. Ritu.
Yes, sir.
What is the literal meaning of Ritu?
Literal meaning is seasons. It comes from a Sanskrit word. Yeah.
It comes from
Sanskrit.
Sanskrit.
Yes.
And who was Sudama?
Sudama was Krishna's childhood friend.
Childhood friend. What was his role in Krishna's development of Krishna's character or assisting him?
Sir, I have not read much about Krishna's childhood. I've not read mythology much, but from what I know, I know one incident where he was a very giving person and he was a very loyal friend. So when once he came to Dwarka, he brought rice with him. He didn't have anything to eat, but he still gifted him the rice that he had.
So this Sudama was mythology?
So it's not mythology.
You say so?
Sorry.
It was real?
Based on the evidences, there have been some evidences found undersea in Dwarka. So people consider it real.
The Dwarka was real, Sudama was real, and Krishna was real or not? Why did you use mythology initially?
Because Mahabharat,
Krishna was real or not?
ma'am, I like to believe. So I am a religious person. I believe Krishna was real.
So how do you describe what is a religious person and how religious person can be differentiated from a spiritual person?
Spirituality is, you can be spiritual without being religious. Spirituality is seeking higher meaning in life. What is life and what do you seek to do? And religion is believe in God, some higher power that drives you.
Religion is belief in God or religion is a ritual. What is Indian word for religion?
Dharma.
Dharma. So dharma is something belief in God. What is Indian concept of dharma?
Ma'am, Indian concept of dharma is duty, righteousness. So, so it's also given in Dharma Shastra, which tells how people should behave, what should be an ethical life. So that is Dharma
Health
Shastra.
shastras are religious texts.
No, they're not religious texts.
So you are a religious person. Define what does religious person mean? Superstitious?
No, for me, religion is not superstition. It's not rituals. It gives me power to believe in something and having a support when nothing is going in my way.
I come to know that I am religious or not.
I'm not able
How
to.
you came to know you are religious or not?
Ma'am, I came to know that I'm a religious person during the dark phases of my life. Sorry.
So, okay, you say एक second. You said it gives you support.
Yes.
I would say that it gives you an alibi to blame somebody for your failure.
No, sir, it's not blaming. It is having mental strength that there is someone who will support you in your darker phases when things are not working.
Have you studied Sartre,
Sorry, ma'am?
John Paul Sartre?
No, no.
Have you studied Simone de Beauvoir?
Yes, in political, PSIR was my optional, so yeah.
So does she has any, like she says that there is a difference between good faith and bad faith. Do you have an idea?
I'm not able to recollect it.
Do you feel the women are facing discrimination in India?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. What is the reason? Is it because of the God or is it because of something else?
So the biggest driver of discrimination is patriarchy, how society was functioning. So the bias that people have against women, that intellectually women are not superior compared to men. I've also seen it in the corporate world. I was working for 4 years. So patriarchy is the biggest driver of women discrimination.
What is patriarchy?
Ma'am, patriarchy is a belief that women are a different sex compared to men. They don't have equal intellectual capabilities. So it's a feeling of superiority.
From where this patriarchy has emerged? What is the origin? Are women biologically weaker than men?
Biologically, I would not say physical strength in some aspects, yes, but not in intellectual strength. I would say biologically, women I think are more
Women,
stronger than.
women you
Yeah,
have studied about origin of patriarchy.
I'll have to study, ma'am.
Okay, Ritu.
Yes, yes,
You are married.
yes, sir.
What does your spouse do?
Sir, he's working in the financial services sector. He's working at Goldman Sachs
Where?
in Bangalore.
Okay, and that's why you left job.
No, that was not the reason. I left job before my marriage.
Okay. So you want to focus on civil services only?
Yes, sir. Because I had tried to study for a couple of months along with my job, but I wasn't able to do justice to either the job or the study, so I decided to leave my job.
So you decided to do this, and of course, when I look at your choice of states, you have asked for your home state, which is Madhya Pradesh, and your spouse is living in Karnataka.
Yes, sir.
How do you manage? How are you likely to manage it?
So this preference list was based on our mutual discussion. So the biggest factor of selecting Madhya Pradesh was the closeness that I have, the knowledge that I have of the state. Uh, in terms of his job, so after COVID, it has become very easy with the work from home concept coming up. So the corporate sector allows that flexibility to work from anywhere.
Okay, you are an electrical engineer.
Yes, sir.
You have taken international relations and political science as
Yes,
your
sir.
courses. Right now, permanent magnets, yes, is a very major issue. That actually makes an issue of critical mineral supply chain
Yes, sir.
and rare earths. So, what is this problem? And how critical are these so-called critical minerals? And what is the problem? Why is the globe worried about these critical minerals? What are the critical minerals? Can you explain?
So, in terms of the definition and the meaning of critical minerals, it is driven by two things. First is the supply. The extraction and the processing of critical minerals is challenging. It is costlier. And second is the usage, the demand of critical minerals. It is important in strategic sectors, for example, renewable energy, power transmission, and defense. So that is why they are termed as critical minerals.
Can you name a few critical? Just, I'm not saying all, just a few critical.
So there are 17 rare earth minerals that are called critical, and then apart from that, lithium is one. Then molybdenum
Okay.
is one.
When you said rare earth metals,
Yes.
are rare earth metals really rare?
So extraction and processing is difficult for rare earth.
Okay, good. I think that's a good thing. So, just why is China important as far as critical mineral supply chain is concerned?
So China dominates 80% of the processing of critical minerals. Uh, yes, sir, that is the reason.
Okay. What are the issues between India and China?
So India and China, the biggest dispute is the border dispute in the western and the eastern sectors at the Ladakh, Arunachal Pradesh, and the Sikkim area. Then, apart from the border dispute, we also have a water dispute. So China is building dams on the Brahmaputra River, and it could impact the downstream flow of the river. Then the other issue is uh, the other issue is the weaponization of the supply chains that China is doing. It is restricting exports of fertilizers, critical minerals that can impact the economy of the country. And India has a large trade deficit with China. Uh, these are the reasons that I can think of right now.
Talked of water dispute. Has India plagued its concerns as far as water dispute is concerned, or is it a dispute or it's a perception?
So I remember reading it. I remember reading the statements of the political class in newspapers regarding dam construction on the Brahmaputra River.
Border sector.
Yes, sir.
What is the border dispute between India and China? Can you briefly explain?
Yes, sir. So on the western sectors, it is about Aksai Chin and the dispute over the boundary. India considers so right now LAC is the frozen boundary, but it has not been demarcated on the ground. And in the eastern sector, China claims sovereignty over Arunachal Pradesh. And China was trying to build road in the Doklam Plateau, which can pose a threat to the Siliguri corridor and the northeastern part of the India.
What is the genesis of this border dispute? Like, why is it that China considers Arunachal as their part, and why is it that we consider Aksai Chin as our part, and China also claims? What is the genesis? You have an idea?
Yes, sir. It dates back to the colonial times. The boundaries were not demarcated. So India considers, I think, McMahon Line as the boundary, whereas China does not consider it the boundary.
One line delineates border between India and China in which sector?
In the northeastern sector, Arunachal Pradesh. Yes, sir.
So, what happens in the western sector?
So in the western sector, I think India, the British had signed the land boundary agreement during with Tibet that time, and India believes Aksai Chin is the part of our country, and China during 1962 war made inroads into that territory and captured some part of that territory. So I think that is the dispute.
Did China capture it in 62 or before 62?
I'm not really 100%
There's
sure.
a road which passes through that territory. Have you heard of that road? No.
I cannot recall.
Is there any other dispute besides East and West? Is there a dispute in central sector also?
No, sir.
There is some place called Barahoti in Uttarakhand. Have you heard of it?
No, sir.
Okay, I have to read. Sikkim, you're not heard of that. Okay, sure.
So, Ritu,
Yes, sir.
I'm just currently on your profile. You had left job where you're working and you were getting a very handsome package of 1.58 lakhs.
Yes, sir.
And you are trying to get the position in civil services.
Yes, sir.
You know what is a package of civil services? That is too less than what you were getting in
Yes, sir.
earlier.
Yes, sir.
So then why do you want to come here?
So in terms of money, I saw that world and it didn't motivate me. That was not the driver of where I should work. And in terms of financial security, I don't think that is going to be a problem. So, and I have seen that world and it was not a driver motivating factor for me to pursue a career. So when I was looking forward, when I was thinking out what do I want to do in the next 20, 30 years.
Potential factor for you.
Yes, sir. I'm coming to that. So when I was thinking, when I was at IFC and I was thinking, what do I want to do in the next 20, 30 years of my life? So the one option was going up the corporate ladder. But I realized that that was taking me away from the ground realities of the country. So I wanted to do work in public service where I could see my work making a visible impact. And I think civil services was the platform that gave me an opportunity to make this impact on a great scale.
Ritu, ma'am was asking about the discrimination in the face of women.
Yes, sir.
And that's coming on your state. You are from Madhya Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
Have you any time heard about the Ladli Behna scheme?
Yes, sir.
How it changed the whole scenario in Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh?
So the Ladli Behna scheme gives basic income of rupees 1250 per month to married women for their financial security. So it is an important scheme for financial inclusion of the women. So Madhya Pradesh is not one of the leading states in social indicators. It has a higher maternal mortality rate compared to the rest of the India. Child marriage rate is also very high. So it helps empower women financially. They can focus on their own growth. They can make independent decisions and not be dependent on their spouses to make everyday decisions of their life.
So do you think is it really working on the ground level?
Yes, sir, I think so. It has just started. It has I think only been 1 to 2 years.
What is the amount of that money?
1250 per month.
It's enough to be independent.
I'm not independent, but you can take at least, you can decide where you want to go. You don't have to ask for permissions every time. So it gives some amount of security.
Now, have you heard about left extremist wing, LWE?
Yes.
So what is going on in this field?
So as per the, sorry,
What other new schemes, what other new steps has taken the government of India or West stage?
yes sir, okay. So as per the latest news, the left-wing extremism and Naxalism has come down in the country. It is only restricted to 11 districts now. So government has taken steps to curb it. So one of the steps is development of the left-wing affected regions, tribal development, and improving the governance efficiency in these regions so that the root cause of these problems can be solved. Then government also has rehabilitation and surrender schemes where and we have seen recently that many cadres have surrendered their weapons and the government is reskilling them to get them back into the mainstream.
So Ritu, what are the major challenges in implementing these LWE eradication schemes?
So one of the reasons I can think of is the connectivity in these regions. Still, these regions are densely forested and the proper connectivity is not there. Other reason would be lack of education and health facilities and persuading the people to pursue get benefit from these facilities is one reason that I can think of.
So can you please tell us the name of some schemes which are implementing in these areas?
So one scheme is PM Janman scheme.
PM Janma,
That is for the particularly vulnerable tribal groups.
PVTG.
Yes, sir. The other scheme is Pradhan Mantri Dharti Abba Jan Jati Utkarsh Gram Abhiyan. That is one of the schemes. Then implementation of the other schemes for infrastructure connectivity, construction of national highways, state highways, and broadband connectivity to all Gram Panchayats. Then PESA Act, which will give them autonomy in local governance. Then Forest Right Acts to give them land titles.
Yeah. You said you were not aware of what is the origin of patriarchy. Yes, if I make a statement that God Ram was the originator of patriarchy by asking Sita to undergo Agni Pariksha, what is your view?
So that could be classified as patriarchy according to me. So she has to defend her stake by she has to defend her viewpoint by going through that tough.
But why did he do it?
So I'm not.
You're not.
I'm not versed with.
Okay. Is it possible to eradicate Maoism by 31st March, as has been said?
So technically, in terms of statistics, yes, but it will take a long time to eradicate it completely. Because new leadership can emerge, because the psychology and the concept needs to be eradicated. Development needs to be brought into those regions to get it eradicated completely.
Is development the main cause of extremism in Central India?
One of the cause, yeah, I think the main driver is development, and the other reasons are support that they get from the other countries that fuels that left wing extremism.
Different. Is lack of development the main cause? Or is there something else?
I think development is the root cause.
What is Jal Jangal Zameen?
Jal Jangal Zameen is the rights over the forest, the forest produce, and the water in the region.
Okay. This is your work in finance.
Yes, sir.
What is the difference between monetary policy and fiscal policy?
So fiscal policy is the support that the government provides in terms of the schemes that the government introduces to provide money in the hands of people, and monetary policy is through the Reserve Bank of India that changes the cash supply in the economy by buying bonds or by reducing rates or increasing rates.
Changing back rates
Yes, sir.
would be what? Monetary policy or fiscal policy?
Monetary policy. Repo rate is under monetary policy. Yes.
And a bill called Shanti Bill was introduced a couple of days ago.
Yes, sir.
What is the full form of Shanti?
The full form I don't remember.
What is the bill about?
So it's about bringing private sector in the nuclear energy field. So government has allowed 49% ownership by private sector in the nuclear power plants to bring capital into nuclear energy to achieve the 100 gigawatt target that the government has.
Is this model existing anywhere in the world, anywhere else in the world?
So I have not read it.
What, in your view, are going to be the advantages of it?
So one would be the government is already constrained by debt and fiscal deficit. So the biggest reason is bringing capital, bringing private capital. The other advantage is bringing the technological expertise that the private sector has. These two are the biggest reasons for bringing private sector.
ठीक है. ठीक है.
So I just want to know, you have been delegate at Sri Lanka.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is your observation about the quality of life in Sri Lanka? Where the things are better, India or Sri Lanka?
Ma'am, it depends. So in terms of the health and education indicators, Sri Lanka is doing better than India.
Did you observe that?
Yes, ma'am. I did not, ma'am. We were with the youth of the country, and there was no major concern raised from them about these things, about the health indicators or about education. So, apart from that, I did not
How do you observe first-hand experience of Sri Lanka? How will you define Sri Lanka?
Ma'am, in terms of economy, I think our country is doing better compared to the
You felt so.
infrastructure wise. Yes, I think
Their interest, like ours, is better infrastructure.
that time 2017, yes, I felt ours was better. And apart from that, I think we have a better coverage, diverse coverage in terms of the numbers of education. So for example, we were talking to people over there, they said the major source of higher education is the government funded universities over there, and it has intense competition. So the people mostly aspire to go foreign for even undergraduate courses, whereas I don't believe it is the case for India. People are aspiring for IITs, and there are also good private colleges in the country where people go. For example, BITS Pilani is one of the colleges in engineering. So that was not the case there. So I think that was one thing I felt private sector involvement was better in our country, which gave other sources of opportunity for people in our country.
Your corporatization of education.
Ma'am, I support corporatization of education, but I also support regulation of education by the government.
Then will it not education will go out of the reach of the vulnerable sections?
No, but the government should also maintain some minimum percentage of schools that the government is running for the vulnerable.
School, higher education, because you need jobs. Corporatization of education.
Okay.
Fine. So, have you heard about the recent developments or changes government want to introduce in higher education?
Ma'am,
Even in principle, do you support corporatization of higher education?
Ma'am, I support involvement of corporate sector in the higher education to bring in the necessary industry expertise as well as the demand, what the industry actually needs.
So, corporate sector, when it will go for education, what will be their motive? Making profits or imparting education?
Corporate sector is driven by profits, but in order to get that profits, the corporate sector needs skilled people, needs research and development. So it also adds to the economic development of the country. For example, right now India does not have semiconductor fabrication labs because India does not have research and development in semiconductor fabrication lab. If a corporate sector is involved in that field,
So, when the corporate sector will be involved, they will be focusing on education of a specific type, the specific type of skill which can be absorbed in industry.
yes, ma'am.
Then what about the education of humanities and many other subjects will die?
Okay.
Fine. So, this is what, because I feel that's not a good idea, corporatization. At least India should be like education should be government funded.
But government cannot fund the entire education, right? Government is already running a fiscal deficit. It is to some extent that government can fund maybe the subjects such as humanities where the corporate sector is not very interested or does not have higher stakes. The government should in fact support these subjects.
Okay. Why, please?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.